It's Richard Hutten. I'm a designer. I started my design company 24 years ago when I was 23 years old. The starting point for the chair for Moroso was the backside. Well, when you enter a space, you normally see a chair from the backside for the first. The chair is always facing a table, so you see the backside. So I wanted to make a chair which looks best from the back. I wanted to make something which was very friendly, which could be mixed with other furniture. Could work in different spaces, both at home with one chair or in a big group in a public space like a hotel lobby where there are many of the same chairs. And I wanted to give the chair a strong identity. So this strong identity is given by the connection on the back. So I made an X-shaped connection where the seat and the back are connected, which gives identity to the chair. It's also like a mark point, like you are here on this very spot, which gives power to the person who sits on the chair. At the same time, the chair is very friendly, very round shape. It's very wide, which makes it inviting. At the same time, it looks very mobile, it can go around in the space. So it has different qualities in itself.
The essence of a design is the concept or the idea. That's how it starts. I have a small team here, but the concept always comes from my brain. My studio is called Richard Hutten Studio. If people knock on my door, they will get a Richard Hutten. So it's always the concept is leading, but of course every design is also based on the context. So where do I design for? If I design something just for me, when I commission myself, then the constraints are of course different than when I design something for industry, which is maybe specialized in one technique. If I design a stamp for the Dutch Post, of course it has to be a stamp. So the constraints make it different, but the idea is always leading. And that's form follows concept, and the idea is the most important part of any design. I call myself a cultural designer. That's the only part of design which interested me. I became a designer because I enjoy doing so, and because I want to add something to the existing. I'm not interested in designing just another chair. If I design a chair, it has to add something to what's already there. Milan is a fair with the purpose to sell objects. It's simple. That's the reason. I go there because I have to go there. It's not by choice. I must go to Milan. That's my job. But I'm interested in stories behind the designs. I'm interested in the history. There is no future without the past. So I'm really interested in the history of design and culture in general. But I want the cultural aspect for me is in the first place more interesting products, more sustainable, durable products. I gave lectures in Malmo, for example, about sustainable design. I showed an image of the red and blue chair of Rietveld. I said, is this chair cradle to cradle? Who gives a fuck? You will never take it apart. You will never try to recycle it. You will restore it. You will cherish it. You will pass it on to the next generation. So that's the type of design which interests me. And that's the type of design which I like to do. And it's not for nothing that I have so many museums as clients. They understand perfectly. Their intention is not just to sell as many as possible chairs. Of course, if I design something, I want as many people as possible to enjoy my work. Because I want to give joy through my work. So the more people, the better. But it's never a goal. It's never like, oh, this chair sells well of the competitor, I make something similar and then it will sell maybe as good. I don't care. When I designed this mug, Alessi was not interested in producing it. It was too crazy. I sold 100,000, 200,000. Now they're really like pissed that they didn't do it. And so I designed with freedom, and so I know what's. I think that I know what's already has been done. So if I come up with an idea which even vaguely reminds me of something I saw before, without anybody else would say the same, I still think this is some sort of the same spirit. I stop the project. So to avoid that I make something which is already there, it's a lot of knowledge and experience, which is designed, is based on my table concept where it all started with. And so at that time I reintroduced archetype into the world of design. design. It was gone there at the time. It was like the end of the 80s, early 90s. It was the time of Boris Sipek. This Czech designer was based in Amsterdam. He was like the superstar. He was making this decorative objects which I could not relate to at all. So I made this No Sign of Design series, which was really like an anti-design. So it was again the mainstream and against the mainstream, against what was going on in the world. It was my graduation project, and I thought, if this decorative bullshit is design, then I don't want to be a designer. So I tried to make up my own rules, which work for me personally, to be able to be a designer. And so then I came up with the No Sign of Design table, the No Sign of Design chair, and then later I started to play with this No Sign of Design chair. I extended the seats, I doubled it, I put it online, so that it was a growing family, which added something playfulness to the design, which later on has been copied millions times by various other designers, but they never can copy the spirit.
Dumbo Mark. Why it's called Dumbo Mark? Well, the original name for this mark was domoor, which is a Dutch word, a sort of if somebody's an idiot, you call him a domoor. It's sort of swearing in a friendly way. And the Dutch word for handle is ear, and it's a dumb ear. So that was the name, and then I had to translate it, and I thought of a Dumbo sounds similar, reminds of this stupid elephant with his big ears. At that time my oldest son, he was 2 years old, so I thought it would be nice if I make a mug where the drinking movement is really exaggerated. So I thought if you make a mug and you drink and it looks like this, it would be really cool. I thought let's do it, so I invested in the tooling. Then I found out it was really hard to produce, it's really a high-tech product. Mug is made of injection molded PP, which is a very standard technique, but the ears are this thick and solid plastic, and the mug itself is very thin, and then the mold is quite complex, which in the end is good because it's not being copied yet. It was a weird product, but everybody loved it. We sold by now 500,000. But for me the best thing is that it makes people smile and it makes people happy when they see it.
But yeah, regarding the entrepreneurship, I started this company 20 years ago, in 1991. First of all, I did some interns at studios while I was studying. And I said, I'm an anarchist, I'm not suitable to work for a boss, I need freedom. Second thing, if I wanted to, there was a big recession, bigger than the ones we're suffering now, so there was no job. So if I wanted to do something, I knew I had to do it by myself. And the designs I make are not marketing driven, and because marketing is always a Me Too culture. They see what the competitors do, they want the same. It's not a science. So if I come up with an idea, I try to convince the client that it's a good idea. And often that's not a problem at all, because they most of the time came to me to ask me if I was interested in designing. So they didn't get my name from the yellow pages. They come from all over the world because they want a real Richard Hutten. So they already have a certain mindset when they come here. We had Rembrandt in the 17th century, fantastic entrepreneur, and all the big artists are at the same time entrepreneurs. They have to be. That's something you cannot do within the constraints of a company, which is very rigid. You need to be an artist. For me, design is one of the arts. You need freedom and to have do whatever you want to do. And of course you have to be an entrepreneur. And of course I have to pay the salary to my staff, I have to pay the rent. So I have a very expensive lifestyle, I have a very big house, so all that needs to be paid. Of course we have to make money, but that's never the goal.
I'm in the building with my man Richard Hutten. Good evening, sir. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Richard Hutten. I like to play, I like to have fun, that's why I'm in Stockholm.
Let's talk about the ashtray. Why ashtrays, out of all things?
Yeah, because we don't need one anymore. So it's the last one, the very...
Can you take a picture of the ashtray, please?
It's the last ashtray. Because it's a stupid habit. You know, when you drink, at least you get drunk. If you smoke, you get nothing. So I want to promote the quitting of smoking. That's why I made the last ashtray, because smokers are a dying species and the ashtray will die with them. So I thought I'd make a beautiful object which you can use afterwards to put in peanuts or eggs or candies, or you find another purpose for this beautiful object.
Would you like to say any last words to your mother, your dogs, cats and father, or anything to the people, to the world? Take the microphone, Richard.
People, don't be too serious. Have more fun. Dare to play. If you know how to play, you know how to have fun. You have a better life. Go out and play and have fun.